and they was talking about doing deals without using their money or credit. And they were just talking about like it was normal. Then I was just like, I said, hold on. Y'all say that again, run that back. What you just said? He was like, yeah, man, I'm on my fifth deal. I just, sold my fifth property and I ain't use my credit or cash. I said, what? I said, yes. I said, that's illegal. I said, you lying or that's illegal. One of the two. I said, that cannot be real, man. That can't be real. I was like, I gotta learn this. I never heard nothing like that in my life, man. Like at first they didn't want to go deep down in details about it, but I made them. We was in the shop, man, for like 2.5 hours. I was asking questions after questions after questions. I had to find out where can I get started and how real it was. Because these guys, they was making like $10,000, $6,000 on deals, man, every other month. After that day, I took the information, I just soaked it up, and it was like, man, you need to. He was like, if you're really serious about this, man, you need to research Flip Man. I said, Flip Man. He's like, yeah. He's like, he's gonna break everything down to you.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Yep. 205-964-5243. You know.
Hello, guys. This is Ty, aka the Flip Man, and today have a very special guest here, a local success story here in the Birmingham area. We have a man, Ace, and he came on my live Flipper 280, and just wanted to let me know what he had been doing. And I did an interview with he and one of his, co-workers a few months back, and so that went really well. So at that time, he told me he was trying to get into business. So he's in the business, So he has some good stuff he's going to share with you guys, especially when you're starting out, because I don't think it was that easy for him in the beginning. But here we are. Has a really nice couple of paydays in the beginning of his journey. So enough of me yapping. What's happening, Ace?
What's going on, Ty? Man, how everything going, man? How everything?
Super tight, man. So like I like to do with pretty much everyone, we'll go ahead and get into like your backstory on how you got started, and then we'll work our way from there. And we'll just give a backstory like this, before you really maybe got into real estate.
Right. Okay. So before I got into wholesale real estate, I was working at the radio station, which I'm still is a radio personality at the radio station, and I'm a professional DJ as well. So
Okay.
the whole time before I moved up here back in 2018, I came up here, I transitioned from Atlanta to Birmingham. Like I said, I'm in media, so that's how I got into radio up in Birmingham. And some opportunities opened up, and it was going good. Like I said, I always been DJing and whatnot, but I still wanted more. DJ is good, it's a good career, but at the same time, it's like it's just something in me that I can do more and I can help on a higher value, give more value. And I just didn't know what it was at the time. So, man, long story short, man, one day I had met someone that when I first got down to Birmingham, he had owned a shop. And the dude that he was partners with, he was 17 years old. So basically that was his mentor. But I met the 17-year-old and he introduced me to the other person that owned the store at the time. So just so happened I was doing an event on that side of town and just riding by, and I stopped by the shop just, because one of my friends, his name is Martez, 17 years old, man. Like, this is crazy story. So I'll go in the shop, just talking, kicking it, whatnot, just chilling, normal day, typical day, just talking. And they got to talking about real estate. Martez and the older dude, one of my older, big homies now, I could say Corey, he's kind of like my mentor. And they was talking about doing deals without using their money or credit. And they were just talking about like it was normal. Then I was just like, I said, hold on. Y'all say that again, run that back, what you just said. He was like, yeah, man, I'm on my fifth deal. I just, sold my fifth property and I ain't used my credit or cash. I said, what? I said, yes. I said, that's illegal. I said, you lying or that's illegal. One of the two. I said, that cannot be real, man. That can't be real. And then, like I said, one of my older homeboys, he was like, yeah, it's real, man. He was like, we all doing it. Both of us doing it. We've been doing it he said they've been doing it for like 2 years at the time. I was like, I gotta learn this. I never heard nothing like that in my life, man. Like,
yeah,
that was new to me. So it was kind of like, it was like a introduction to real estate. Cause Ty, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I had a vision in college. I went to Jacksonville State University. I had a vision. It was my senior year in college. Now I say my junior year in college. I was like, man, I want to own a couple apartment complexes. So I was like, I started researching how much it costs to actually own and buy an apartment complex. It was like 1.2 million, 2.6 million. I said, God, I don't think I can get that money. I don't think I can get that type of money so fast, so it's gonna take me some decades to get that type of money, man. So I kind of forgot about the vision, man. I kind of like put the vision, swept it up on the rug, and I just stopped thinking about it. Once I started checking the prices and seeing how much it was to buy an apartment complex. And I was like, man, this is crazy. So fast forward, went in the shop, and the idea popped right back in my head, like, man, you can use this to buy apartment complexes or wholesale apartment complexes, wholesale enough money to buy apartment complexes.
Exactly.
Like, this is it. I said, this is it. This is my way in. I said, this is my gateway in. So from that day, at first they didn't want to go deep down in details about it, but I made them. We was in the shop, man, for like 2.5 hours. I was asking questions after questions after questions. I had to find out where can I get started and how real it was. Because these guys, they was making like $10,000, $6,000 on deals, man, every other month. And like, I'm like, God, like this real money. And of course, they ain't got no job. You're making that much money a month consistently. You pretty much ain't gonna get no 9 to 5, man. You know?
Oh yeah.
So, after that day, I took the information, I just soaked it up, and it was like, man, you need to. It was like, if you're really serious about this, man, you need to research Flip Man. I said, Flip Man. He's like, yeah. He's like, he's gonna break everything down to you. I said, okay. So they put it up in the shop. I was looking at it in the shop. Then I was like, man, I got to go home. I got to really dig into this. Because I was zoned in, locked in. Because I was so serious about it. And man, I went to your page. It was so much information. I'm talking about, man, you had tons of videos. And I said that I at least watched 3 of your videos every day. For man, I want to say 6 months to a year.
Oh, wow.
Studying. Yeah, just studying. Yeah. I should have been took action. Probably the 6 month, but I was hesitating, man, nervous, because I'm still thinking it's illegal. Like, I'm still thinking like this can't be real, man. So I was like, man, you know what? After the pandemic, we couldn't do nothing. Because I felt like during the pandemic, it was no deals going on. To find out, it was plenty of deals going on. I was like, yeah, man, I missed out on a big gap of collecting more deals. So I was like, when 2021 hit, kind of towards the middle or the end of the year, I was like, I got to do this now. It's either now or never, man. I got to make this happen for myself, and I got to make this happen for people around me, to actually let them know that it's possible. You can get this type of money out here, man. So, and in 2001, studying a little bit, started taking action. It wasn't at first, man. It was rough, man. I was spending money on banner signs. I'm putting banner signs up. 4 days later, they taking the banner signs down. I'm like, damn, man, it costs too much to be getting these banner signs taken down like this. Some got to give, man. So I went back to your videos. I was like, okay, I got to study how to put up these banner signs. I had to study this because I can't keep throwing money down the drain. And at the time, I was paying like maybe $300 some for some banner signs. 100. It was like 100 plus some banner signs, and I was like, man, they keep taking them down. So I started studying your videos, and I started realizing, I was like, okay, which banner signs are staying up in the neighborhoods? So I know if I go put the banner signs up in the good neighborhoods, they're gonna take them down within a week. They might not even last a week.
Oh, they might last a day.
A day, you know what I'm saying? So I was like,
You put
okay,
them
that
up
ain't,
in the morning, they'll be gone in the evening. But go
yeah.
ahead.
So
Go
that
ahead.
was quick on that. So I was like, okay, I gotta get smart. So what I did was I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the highways. Ain't too many people gonna risk they like getting out the car trying to take down bandit signs on the highway. Like, you gotta be determined. You gotta be a real hater to be doing that.
Yeah.
Man. So I started utilizing the highways, putting them up on signs, you know, the yield signs, the stop signs, and things like that, the red lights. So that went pretty good after a while. Then I started going into neighborhoods, and I just kept doing that, man, for about, I want to say about a year, man.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, about
Okay.
a year. But I wasn't doing no cold calling. I was
Yeah.
just depending strictly on the bandit signs. And that's
I
when I
got you.
started learning, like, you got to start being proactive and start being
Yeah.
reactive, you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's
Exactly.
deals come from bandit signs. Don't get me wrong, bandit signs are good. But the deals ain't gonna come as quick and efficient
Yeah.
as you would if you
You force an action. You can sit back. You can put the bandit signs out. That's what attracted me to the business initially because
Mhm.
just who I am as a person and uh, uh, not being that great of a salesperson. I guess what's the word? A little introverted.
Right.
So bandit signs attracted me, but like so, you're being reactive at that point. But you
Mhm.
can force the action by doing cold calling because you're putting it in their face whether they want it or not or whatever, and so it's just going to generate a different type of activity. So,
Right.
but go ahead though. It's your story, not mine. Go ahead.
Nah, you good. Go ahead, man. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
no, no, no,
You the
no. Keep
reason
rolling.
why we're doing this interview. But
No, keep rolling though. Keep rolling.
but
Keep
yeah,
rolling.
man. So yeah, I kept doing the bandit signs over a year of time. Didn't do no cold calling because I was like, man, that I had to get over that. I had to get over that fear, and I had to get out my feelings about the cold calling.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
2022 hit. I was like,
Yeah.
man, the bandit signs, they work. I'm getting calls, but they ain't getting. I ain't got deals. Like, they ain't real deals.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, it's time to take action. So I started being proactive. I start cold calling, driving for dollars. So I started doing that, man. I had calculated probably like 30, maybe I'd say 30 houses, 20 to 30 houses a week. So I sat down, I say it was in February 2022, I started cold calling. And man, when I tell you I got some of the rudest people,
Oh my God.
horrible, sick
Yeah.
people, man. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just calling to see do you need help selling your property? I'm not calling and saying I'm gonna rob you for your property. Like, that's how they was coming. That's how they was answering the phone, and it was just a bad experience at first, man.
Yeah.
And like, that was my actually first time cold calling too, because I never really did that. But I had to break out that mold. And like, man, you got a big vision, so you gotta climb over this hurdle if you
Yeah.
want to get to success. So I kept on going at it, man. Kept swinging, kept taking the hits. Started learning how to talk to people. Then it started getting a little better towards in the middle of 2022. Started getting better. Then the blessing came, man.
All right. Now, of course, the when they see this video, they're going to see the promo on your second deal. Well, I think
Mhm.
you made the 14K or something like that.
Yeah, 14K.
Yeah. So let's get into that one. All right. So you have proof of concept. You
Yeah.
walk away with $1,500 on your first deal. All right. So now you have that first deal done. So fast forward. When did how did the lead come in for the second deal?
The lead came in from the second deal once again, and I'm going back to these bandit signs, man. Bandit signs. It
Okay.
came in. Second deal came through from a bandit sign.
Okay.
This one was in Tarrant, you know,
Okay.
and this was a very motivated seller. There was an older couple, an older white couple, and they've been in the real estate business for a long time. So the property was a duplex. So they pretty much made their money back like triple and plus, man, triple plus.
Wow.
So
Okay.
at this point, they were just kind of ready to get rid of because they said at first they was gonna keep it in. They was like, nah, I'm ready to get rid of it. They was like, they came to agreement. They was like, gonna get rid of it because it was so trashed out. It was very trashed out and it needed a lot of work done to it. And they just didn't want to put no more work in it. They just didn't want to invest in it no more. And so
Okay. All right.
yeah.
So they called you. All right. So it's over in the Tarrant area. So was it anyone living in the property? The
No, it was
duplex?
vacant. It had been vacant for like 2 years. Yeah.
Okay. And so what price did they want for
Man, you gonna believe this. This how you know, for everybody out there, this how you know they motivated. When they say just give me a price.
it?
So I gave her a price. Me personally, I always start with like 5 or 6,000.
Okay.
So I was just breaking down the amount of work needed done to it, because it need a full rehab. We need everything done, man. And like I said, and it was a duplex, so it's gonna need some real work. So I end up saying, I say I can do 6,000. I can purchase it for 6,000. She was like, really? I was like, yeah. She was like, we didn't even think we was gonna get that. I said, man. I was like, I could have went a little lower. I said, man, I could have went a little bit lower.
Oh boy.
I was like, you know what? I want them to make some money as well. I'm not in this business to take. I like to. Yeah. I want people to be happy too. I want everybody to be a win-win situation.
Sound like they're gonna be really happy. Okay.
Yeah. So she was
all right. So what you just went out? So you they wanted 6,000 for it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they said that fast. That normally means they'll take a lot less, which they told you they would have. All right. And so I guess you shot them a contract or.
Yeah, so what I do is I have my contracts filled out before I actually get to the house, so that way the process can go faster.
Okay, so when you got them at the house, that's when you negotiated the deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Like before I leave, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, before I leave, or if I'm heading to a property and I know the buyer it's sounding like they're ready to sell, I go ahead and fill the contract out before I even get there. So that way they can just fill their name out, sign their name, and we'll agree to a price.
Okay. All right. So you all agreed on 6,000. How much earnest money did you give them?
None.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So so you gave no earnest money. All right. And so now you have this property in the contract. I'm assuming you took photos, video, or whatever when you were out there.
Right.
Okay. So did you already have a buyer in mind, or you just went ahead and just started marketing it?
No, I didn't have a buyer in mind. I just started marketing that next day after I had went through got all the information for the property and did all the marketing. I created a marketing package, so when I get ready to send it out, it'll be all in one. So once I got that done, I did that the same day. The next day, that morning, I started getting on there. I started promoting it, marketing it to the people. Yeah.
All right. Were a lot of people reaching out to you on it?
Yeah, a lot of people was reaching out, but once again, like people wasn't serious though, man.
Oh, really? I got you.
They wasn't serious.
And okay. So, who stepped forward to buy this one?
So I did a same method. I put a for sale sign in the yard.
Okay.
And I put them around the neighborhood, and I put them on the corner of the highway so they can see, have a big arrow point to the house so they can go that direction if they was interested.
I got you.
So end up being some Mexicans end up buying this one again.
I already knew you were gonna say that.
How you know I was gonna say that?
Because it's in Terre. I know that.
They buying everything, man.
Yeah, they buying everything, especially over there.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So all right. So what price point were you marketing at?
I think at first I started with 30.
Okay.
I started with 30.
Okay. And so if you had 6, then that means you sold at 20 then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 14 different. All right. So it started at 30. So what did they offer to you? What did they offer the one that actually purchased it?
The one that actually bought it?
Yeah, the one that actually bought it.
So I told them they was looking to pay more. I told them 20,000.
Oh wow.
They was gonna buy it for 25 though. They was like, oh, she was like, oh, I thought you were gonna say 25,000. I said, God. So
you were asking 30, and I'm assuming they asked you what was your best number.
Yeah.
And you said 20.
And I said 20.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this is basically done this twice here. So
yeah, man.
On the seller side and the buyer side, and sometimes you can't control it because sometimes they just won't give you a price. But definitely on that buyer side, you could have forced them to give you a number on it or whatever. And so, but that's fine. Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so same situation with them. They were ready to close, had cash, like, and literally, did you close with the same title company or someone they wanted to use?
No, I close with the same title company.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So So now you basically 10 times your money basically on the second one. So
Right.
leading up to the closing, were there any issues with the title or anything?
This wasn't no issues, man. This may be the smoothest deal that can be done.
Yeah.
It's
Some of them
real
be like
smooth,
that.
man,
Yeah.
because it was free and clear. They owed. There wasn't no tax liens. It was nothing owed on the house, no mortgage, none of that. It was just
Yeah.
free and clear. And like I said, they had already got their money back triple plus
Yeah. Because
because
they
they
owned it a
owned
long
the
time.
house, their property so long,
Yeah. I got you. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So day of closing. So it works because you made the first deal, but
Right.
this is a different animal. Cost $1,400 will pay a few bills, but 14,000 will pay some bills.
I'm telling you. I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you.
Yeah. So all
Yeah.
right. So day of closing. So how was that for you?
Man, the day of closing, and I did. Oh, another thing I didn't mention in the first deal, I did same closing with
Okay.
everybody in the room at the same time. I would
Yeah.
never ever do that again in my
Okay.
life.
Now
So
sometimes you don't have a choice depending on who you're using, and sometimes you don't have a choice.
if I can
Last
help,
time, but go
yeah,
ahead though. But go ahead though. Tell explain
yeah,
why.
if I can help it, I definitely do it different. But the second was a double closing.
Okay.
So I did a double close, so that was real good. And man, when I got when I got that check in my hand, it was like, man, this is real. I said, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is my gateway to how I'm gonna buy these apartment complexes. Like, this is
Yeah.
my way.
I got
You
you.
know.
So we'll just to give people the experience for you. So you had to when he says double closing. So basically, what happened? Who suggested that? The title company suggested, or did one of your friends suggest? Well, who suggested the double closing?
I just did research. I
Okay.
learned just researching, man, and learning. And I looked at some of your videos on double close, and I just started realizing and learning. And then once I got hit and it stung, and I knew what it felt like, I was like, I gotta learn how to do this double close. I can't do
Yeah.
this again. So that's
Yeah.
what led me to do the double closing.
And so what he means by that, guys, is that you literally have two closings. So the buyer still fund the deal. In most cases, you can use transitional funding to do this also. But so the seller and Ace close first at the 6,000, and then maybe a couple hours later. How long? What is the time frame difference?
So I think I did an hour and a half gap. So first I
Okay.
met with the buyers.
Okay, she made you do it with the buyer. She wanted the money to be there,
Yeah.
and then you close with the seller an hour and a half less, so make sure they get their money. They're signed off. The
Right.
buyer's already signed off. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, he closed with the buyers first. All that paperwork was in place, and then he went back to the seller to make sure that's funded. Everything signed on the buyer's side, so there's no change in your mind. The seller, having to, like, well, what happened? So everything went through with the because it's easier to go back to the buyer and say, well, the seller never did close on it, so we can't, you know what I'm saying? Or you say that part. It's easier to deal with that part of it than the seller signing off thinking they've sold the property and then they don't have the money. So, but so an hour and a half later, so they gave you your bread. Did they wire it to you or gave you a check, or how did you take it?
I took it a check.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave me a check.
All right.
And when I went to deposit, I didn't. So remember that it's my first time getting a lump sum of money like this. I'm gonna be honest. I grinded my way up to this point in my life, and really, man, but I had to get this amount of money in my hand at one time. I had to learn how this type of money works.
Yeah.
So once you deposit, you don't get the money the next day. It don't work like that. Like,
no.
I'm thinking. I woke up the next morning. I'm thinking, like, man, where my money at? Like, I know. I just deposited this yesterday, man. Well, man, come on now. What? My money? So I went back to the bank, and it was like, when you deposit amount of money, this much amount of money, it takes days so they can actually clear it and make sure, everything goes through well.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, I get it.
All right. So from now on, what you'll do, you'll have your title company to wire the money to you, wire it to your account, and it's immediate. Well, when I say it's immediate, once it hits the account, it's immediate because it depending on the time of day, but normally within a couple of hours you'll receive it. If it's sent out, late in the evening or whatever, it'll be the next morning, whenever it posts or whatever. So yeah, you always want to do wire, and this lets you just want to have a situation where you just want to have a check in the hand for whatever reason. But if you want the money that day or within the next day, then you want to do a wire, and this is on the weekend
Yeah,
or
I know
whatever.
that's
So, okay, all right. So, wow, man. So that's a great experience. You started out with a smaller amount, proof of concept, got introduced to it by accident, like most things happen. You know what I'm saying? You just overhearing a conversation, and they probably assuming you knew what you knew what they were talking about or
Yeah,
whatever.
you know nothing.
So, have you went back to you guys and shared what you've done? The guys that initially introduced it to you.
Oh yeah. I went back and I actually gave them some bread, man, because I appreciate them for introducing that to me. Like just at the right place at the right time and just taking action, man.
Oh yeah. That's the main thing. You took action. You know, they introduced you to it. You put the time in to educate yourself. You basically like I did a post yesterday, and it was done in humor, but to be real, one of the first things people will ask is that how fast can I do a deal? Well, yeah, I know you want to get to the money fast, but you need to wipe that mentality out your head.
Man, I promise.
People, you're okay with going to college 4 years, 5 years, 7 in my case, and okay with doing that, spending all that money with the hopes of getting a job. Unless you're going in the medical field or something like that or whatever, all the rest of the stuff is in hopes of getting a job, right? And okay with it. Spend, and I guess nowadays hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it, depending on where you go, or whatever. But learn something free, really buckle down, take you 3 months to really learn it. And then I don't care if it takes you 2 years to make one deal, make 14 grand. Not many jobs that you're getting out of college where you're gonna make 14 grand in one swoop, right?
You're right.
And in some situations, you can make in a year's salary in one deal. So we got to change our mentalities, people. You know what I'm saying? So the opportunities are there. And you see, he easily took 6 months to educate himself, and hey, no problem with it, right?
Right.
He knew he believed that. Hey, number one, the guys told him that it was working, so that's boom. He already was confident on that side of it. Little still unsure about the legality of it, but that obviously soon went away. That's when you get some bread in your hand. But he's willing to put the work in, is my point. You're willing to put the work in as far as right here, and then you have to apply it. A lot of people are like, what's the first thing I have to do? If you study the videos, guess what? You're going to know what to do. You're going to know what to do.
Right.
I'm not being funny, but that's like real. You knew what to do, right? You know what I'm saying? You put the time in, because that's 15 years of me spilling my guts about this business. 15 years of content. All right. So anyway, man, I really appreciate it, man. And the great thing that, and you probably already thought it through, you grew up in Atlanta. So, once you really get this going, you can duplicate that effort in where you grew up also, because you're more familiar with it. And I'm sure you still have, family and friends there that can easily assist you with it or whatever. So, have you shared your success with many people, or
not many?
Okay, that's going to change.
Because the reason being, because I feel like I don't want to go around telling this type of information, because it's work you got to do. See, if I tell them what type of money, how much money I made or deals I'm working on, they think they can get in and make the same amount of money next week.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, just kind of introduce it to so many people, and they ain't really serious about it. They just thinking about the money. Honestly, like me personally, my mindset is how many homeowners or how many owners I can help within this month.
Yeah.
I want to at least help 5 owners sell their house or sell their property, their land or condo, or duplex.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's my mindset, giving value.
Well, man, I'm really glad you came on last week to the Flip North, so we could be doing this right now. And hopefully I get it up, edited, and get it up in a couple of days or whatever. And I don't know how much exposure it gets. You never can tell about that stuff, but
Yeah.
So people will like, hey, and then you already in the entertainment world, and like say you
Yeah,
did what?
it might
Are
go
you gonna?
global right here.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but anyway, so that's a good thing, though, man. It's enough money out here for us, all of us, 10 times over.
yeah,
But with that being said, Ace, man, I really appreciate it. But before I get out of here, just if you want to add anything to encourage people that that may be looking to do this or whatever.
yeah. Definitely, man. I just want to say before you start, have an end game, because if you don't have an end game, you're gonna quit. You're gonna stop doing it. But if you have an end game of, okay, for example, my end game is I don't want to pay rent or mortgage anymore. I want to find a way where I don't have to pay rent or mortgage for the rest of my life. And I want to own a few apartment complexes, including a hotel.
Okay.
So that's my end game. But if I didn't have an end game, I would have stopped probably the first year because of I had to get through the cold call, and that was a headache. That was rough.
Yeah.
I told y'all about the cold call, and that was hectic, man. But you have to see your way through. You kind of got to see the results and see how it's going to turn out, so you can keep going. Because if you don't have that vision, you're gonna give up. So if you working on your first deal, or you just getting in this, or this may be your first time hearing about wholesale real estate, I just want you to just advise you just to study this and don't quit. Whatever you do, don't stop doing it, because it works. You just got to work it. Now, how much work you got to put into it, I don't know. You may get a deal in 3 months. You may get a deal in 4 years, in 3 years. It's up to you how much you work it, though.
Yeah.
So I just said, tell you that. Don't stop, man. Just keep pushing. And Ty, I want to ask you a question too before I leave, man.
Yes, sir.
What drives you to keep giving out this type of great quality information and knowledge, man, on this wholesale real estate thing?
Well, whenever I started putting out this content, I was 5 years, right at five. Well, it was 5 years into actually doing wholesaling. But before I got into real estate, when I first got introduced to the internet back in '98, I think, I was just amazed at the opportunities that it could present for someone, especially with an entrepreneurial mindset or whatever. And so, you can literally do this, and people anywhere in the world can buy this. That amazed me, and it still does. And so, I had tried a lot of different things, but I spent a lot of time, man, just at that time I was living in an apartment. I was spending a lot of time, just there by myself, and just trying to learn things. And so when I got introduced to real estate, one of the ways that I found out about the training that I initially purchased was through a entrepreneur message board that I frequent. And so they recommended Ron LeGrand's course. Long story short, I bought that, and I started doing deals. So I still had the hobby of internet marketing, or just trying to generate income online, and never really had did anything of any significance. And so when I discovered YouTube, I think YouTube came out in '06, I think '05, '06, and I discovered it probably '07, late '07, and then '08 or whatever, somewhere in there. I said, well, I'm going to start, I'm a pretty shy person. I know it doesn't seem that way, but as I'm just going to start putting out content out here to individuals, and I'm going to tell them what I know about this thing called wholesaling real estate. And if they could take it and run with it, for free, or if that's not enough, then, hey, they may pay me a fee to coach, or, a course or something like that. And so when I first started, I was doing coaching for like $97 for an hour. I'll sit down with somebody locally and coach them for a couple of hours, or however long it took, or where really. Yeah. And so, so it was more of me feeding my hobby of online marketing, and what it could do for it. It was more of that, and see what could come out of that and build something. Now, on the flip side of that, I also I said, well, one day I'll be able to do deals with people all over the country. If I give enough value out, I have a lot of like-minded individuals out there, and we can do deals anywhere. I don't have to be everywhere to do deals everywhere, right? And so it was that part of it. And then obviously, it generates some money. And, at first, for years, it only would pay, maybe car note, or something like that. Get somebody their nails done or something, or whatever, stuff like that. And then one day it just went to, then it went again, or whatever. But that was just all from the lot of the content that I was putting out there. So, so now, I have to take it dead serious because it produces, some serious income. I'm just being transparent. Gotcha. So I have to treat it as a business, just like I do for, the actual real estate investing side of it. See, people say, well, you're making all this money doing real estate and investing, blah, blah, blah. Why you got to be selling course? You ever heard of multiple streams of income?
Right. Exactly.
Also, if someone would pay you, like, you know how to spell your name, right?
Right.
If somebody paid you every time you spelled your name, wouldn't you do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's about the way this is for me, explaining this stuff, because I've been doing it 20 years. It's like spelling my name. So why not? Whatever. So it's all of those combinations of things or why I keep doing it or whatever. So
gotcha. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you, man, for having me on here, telling my story. Hopefully this inspires some people. And, I'm finna get me a VA team, man.
All right, that's what's happening, man. You got the one chance to do it, man. Just keep pounding that out, man. You're gonna do well, man. You're in a world where you network with a lot of people, I'm sure, because you're in the entertainment world or whatever. We'll probably do another story a year from now. It's gonna be totally different.
I believe it.
Yeah. You you went. It didn't happen for you fast, and you still stuck to it. You're gonna be just fine, just fine, or whatever. So. But again, we appreciate you, man. And as I always like to say, guys, we'll see you on FLIPSIDE.
Cool.
Thank you.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Now you know. 205-964-5243. Now you know.